surveillance, a Haiti's weapons test, internet restrictions, and American politics for sale. I'm Johnny Anonymous, and this is ATS News. So if alien life exists, would you be ready to offer them your hand in peace and have them over for a cup of coffee or tea? At a two-day conference held at the Royal Society in London on the subject of the detection of extraterrestrial life and the consequences for sciences and society, Marek Kukula, an astronomer from the Royal Observatory, stated, "Part of me is with the enthusiast, and I would like us to try to make proactive contact with a wiser, more peaceful civilization." But then he warned us by saying, given the consequences of contact may not be what we initially hoped for, then we need governments and the UN to get involved in any discussions. Now, when it comes to contact, many scientists are puzzled as to why no messages have been sent back, even though humans have been transmitting radio and television signals for over the last century. Professor Conway Morris reasoned that if he were in their shoes, the aliens, he responds by saying, "I'm not sure I'd answer the telephone." Is it possible that Venezuelan leader Hugo Chavez could be a possible conspiracy theorist? Well, you'll have to be the judge, as Chavez was recently quoted from a Spanish ABC affiliate as claiming that the U.S. Navy launched a weapon capable of inducing a powerful earthquake off the shore of Haiti. He adds that this time it was only a drill, and the final target is destroying and taking over Iran. Now, our membership chimed in, of course, with their opinions, like GW8UK, who says, "Chavez is a nice man and wants the best for humanity. Also, he has some money to investigate, but maybe he is just an ATS lurker." Wild Bob 77 stated, if the U.S. wanted to test an earthquake weapon, why would they test it on Haiti? How about the rural mountains in Pakistan or perhaps Yemen? How about testing it when the Iranian president is giving one of his hate speeches? Another member, by the name of Jim C5499 posted, "Will somebody please remind Hugo to take his lithium?" Now, I'm probably not going to get this next member's name correct. I believe it's Zinfadrian, thinks that this is all very interesting by stating, "I find Chavez's announcement very intriguing, and I feel that my hunch was verified. I was one of the first on the Haiti earthquake thread to bring up that this was done by a weapon." Now, just on a personal note, you have to admit, this makes one wonder if old Hugo visits ATS for new conspiracy ideas. ATS member Modern Academia brought to our attention a recent event that will affect us all. A federal judge has now dismissed a case, Juul versus the NSA, from the Electronic Frontier Foundation, better known as the EFF, on behalf of AT&T customers challenging the National Security Agency's mass surveillance of millions of ordinary Americans' phone calls and emails. "We're deeply disappointed in the judge's ruling," said EFF Legal Director Cindy Cohn. "This ruling robs innocent telecom customers of their privacy rights without due process of law." Many of our membership agreed, like Avenging Gecko, who stated, "Don't be surprised if we start seeing more rulings like this. Isn't it wonderful now that the corporations can openly run the government, they can in effect spy on every citizen in the U.S. ATS member Walks with Fish says, "Unless you are targeted for surveillance, you have nothing to fear. Do nothing that will threaten them, and you will be okay." Super Slovak posted, "Looks like America is heading down the same path as Britain. No privacy, all security." We encourage you to please participate on the original thread with your own thoughts concerning this ruling. Several of the first threads created on ATS, one by Ziggy Strange and another by Canis Lupus, discuss the recent event of a 63-year-old law limiting political spending by labor and big business being overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court in a landmark decision that called any ban a restraint of free speech. The First Amendment protects more than just the individual on a soapbox and the lonely pamphleteer, wrote the Supreme Court in a 5-4 decision. Now, what this decision essentially means is that if a corporation wanted to spend millions of dollars of its own money in support of a candidate or an issue, it may now do so. Our membership, of course, was quick to respond, like Blaine 91555, who stated, "The Supreme Court just ruled that a corporation or a union is equal to a citizen and has the same rights. This is dangerous in many ways. That's why both parties are upset over this. It was perhaps the worst decision ever made by the Supreme Court. It is giving citizenship rights to an entity that is not human or even alive." Now, Aggie Man stated, "There goes what was left of a great country. Your president in 2012, brought to you by insert corporate entity of your choice here." Member JW9297 states, "Media corporations have been free to spend for or on behalf of a candidate or campaign all along. Now any corporation can do so, strictly in compliance with any rational reading of the First Amendment." Black Marketeer posted, "When the Constitution was drafted, corporations were not considered living, breathing citizens deserving of any rights. That took another 100 years to worm its way into our culture, rather." Member Truth Quest stated, "I support the Supreme Court decision. The Supreme Court has the job of protecting the Constitution, and they have finally decided to selectively enforce it. Yes, indeed, the freedom of speech does exist for everyone, and it really is that important. So if you don't like the decision, then don't worry. That is why we have the ability to amend the Constitution." We, of course, will be watching closely the continuing developments in all of these threads. The following thread didn't get a whole lot of attention and slipped under the radar, but we think it is still one that deserves some attention. It was posted up a while back by ATS member Dolphin Fan. "How would you feel if you could no longer post up your images or videos to a website such as YouTube, for example, without permission and or authorization?" According to an article located at thestandard.com, that is exactly what the Italian government would like to do with the introduction of a new decree. This decree will require people who upload videos onto the internet to obtain authorization from the Communications Ministry, drastically reducing the freedom to communicate over the web. Now, if passed, Italy will join the likes of countries that favor censorship, such as China, Iran, and North Korea. An ATS member from Italy named Silo13 posted, "I just got through watching the news here in Sicily and didn't hear a thing about this. Call me astonished." Internos tracked down the PDF document and made a downloadable link for the membership and added these thoughts. To put it in very simple words, the target of this decree is to nullify all the differences presently being regulated by laws between an ISP hosting third parties' media and some TV stations, basically to destroy a big slice of the freedom on the web. Another one of our Italian members, named Acetate, said this, "I have lived in Rome quite a long time, and lately there has been a trend towards censorship. What frightens me the most is that both the current party in power, the PDL, and the opposition agree on these measures. We here at ATS wish Italy all the best, and we hope that you'll be able to continue to maintain your freedom of internet speech for everyone to enjoy." You know, I always attempt to end one of our videocasts on a note that isn't so conspiratorial, and we have found a thread created by member December Rain, which is located in the Fragile Earth section and is entitled 11 Extinct Animals That Have Been Photographed Alive. Now, if it wasn't for modern photography, you, I, or our children may never have had the chance to see the likes of many species that no longer exist. Take, for example, the Tasmanian tiger that died off in 1936 by a massive hunting campaign instituted by the Tasmanian government from 1888 to 1909. Or how about the quagga, which is a type of zebra with very unique markings? By the way, this particular picture represents the only one ever to have been photographed alive, and it was taken at the London Zoo in the year 1870. Now, I had never heard of this following animal. It's a Baiji river dolphin, and is probably the latest in the animals to go extinct. Following an extensive search for them in the year 2006, the population had been known to be declining rapidly in recent decades since the rise of Chinese industrialization that were polluting the rivers. Now, there are other photographs we could show you, but of course, we'd like you to please go visit the thread and check them out for yourself. And once again, our thanks to December Rain for posting it for us. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the ATS News. We hope you enjoyed yourself, and we'll come back again real soon. There are things brewing, but we just can't tell you about them. So stay patient with me, won't you please? And remember, if it's not on AboveTopSecret.com, then it probably doesn't matter. We'll see you next time. Take care now.